British Forces News has had a rare opportunity to gauge the progress made by British troops in a former insurgent stronghold in Afghanistan. Forward Operating Base Ouellette has been up and running for a year now in the Upper Gereshk Valley, and members of the 1st Battalion, the Scots Guards, are the 3rd unit to make it their headquarters. Carla Prater's been to see how they're getting on.
In the Upper Gereshk Valley, FOB Ouellette lies wedged between the Green Zone and one of Helmand's main highways. Sitting between Nari Siraj and Sangin, it's unlike any other part of Helmand because the population is so transitory. Farmers here are tenants on the land. They move regularly and insurgents exploit this, moving through the area as well. This is a kinetic area, but the efforts of the last year are having an effect. Ouellette was once a US Marine outpost. Members of 2 Mercians set up the FOB. It was taken over by the Royal Welsh, and now it's home to members of the 1st Battalion, the Scots Guards. Right flank company and a platoon from left flank will spend the winter here with an important job to do.
Transition is going at a pace in this area, absolutely. And I anticipate that we'll be seeing some big changes. We'll be seeing a number of our checkpoints either closing or being handed over to the Afghan police, and also us moving back to a more central location to facilitate them so that they have the front step and we are behind them.
From here, the area of operations stretches over 30 kilometres, surrounding the Highway 611, the road that links Sangin in the north to Gereshk in the south. With the green zone to one side, this area is highly contested and transition is still in its early stages. The Scots Guards have only been on base a few days, but they've already started as they mean to go on. They've just closed checkpoint Tia. The section is now protected by Afghan forces, and more handovers are planned. Many of the patrols from this base are conducted in vehicles. There's a fleet of warriors on camp, maintained by a light aid detachment that's always in demand. The Scots Guards were last on Herrick 12, and this tour already promises to be very different.
The last tour was very kinetic, where we were in right flank. We were basically behind the flat, forward line of enemy troops. So we were not mosh track, basically there to gather the Taliban into us and fight. So it was a lot more kinetic, and this time I've only been here 4 days obviously, but I'm sure it's not going to be as kinetic as it was the last time.
On Herrick 12 I was a signaller within Battle Group Headquarters based in Lascar. My job consisted of actually being on the net pretty much 24/7. This time I've swapped my roles, and I'm actually getting out on the ground this time.
The situation on the ground may be improving, the work of the previous units paying off, but it's not been without loss. 9 British soldiers based here have died in the last year. Outside camp there's a risk of IEDs. Inside there's a risk of rocket attacks. But there's support here to protect the base. 5 Battery, 19 Regiment Royal Artillery have spent the summer here operating the light gun. There are also mortar teams to help the troops on the ground. Every week, shuras are held with locals, and the ANA and ANCOP presence here is growing. The next 6 months promise change in this area. There's already been a change in unit. Now the Scots Guards have their task in hand and a busy tour ahead of them. Carla Prater, Forces News at FOB Ouellette.